I'm comfortable around my own race. I'd have to say that. Probably because I know that a lot of them relate to me better than other people can.
Around your own race?
Yes, most likely, yes, I am comfortable around my own race because, like you said, just a similar interest and things you could do together.
Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, this is Julius Logan, but you can call me Jules for short if you like. Question: was segregation such a bad idea? Think back with me for a moment. On May 17, 1954, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled unanimously that racial segregation in public schools violated the 14th Amendment to the Constitution, which says that no state may deny equal protection of the laws to any person within its jurisdiction. That 1954 decision declared that separate but equal educational facilities were inherently unequal. Now, the problem with separate but equal is that it was separate, but it was not equal. However, what if it had been? Would it have been so bad? Now, I'm going to use myself as an example here. When I was growing up, when I was a young kid, I had a lot of examples of strong black people in my life. Strong, intelligent black people who put their mind toward a goal and accomplished that goal. I mean, my parents were very knowledgeable. They imparted a lot of wisdom to me. My older siblings, my grandparents, my aunts and uncles, my cousins. This was very good for me as a child. Also at church, the pastors, deaconesses, and even in school, I had a lot of black teachers who really cared. These things were very helpful. It's good to help shape a young black mind and have all these good examples of black people. Now, not everybody has examples like that. You know, some people are in a different situation. And maybe, let's say, for example, you know, you have a young mother for whatever reason or another, and she isn't even necessarily sure how to be a woman yet. Excuse me. She's not necessarily experienced with that. She can't impart a whole lot of wisdom to you one way or the other. Maybe you're in a fatherless household, or worse yet, you know, you do have a father that's around, but he's a half a man and he's no good to you. He doesn't impart any wisdom to you either. Now, in a situation like that, let's say you do manage to go to school, and when you do, you know, your teachers there are white, and those are the people who are giving you knowledge or imparting knowledge to you. I think that has to give you some kind of complex. How could it not? Especially when you look at the media and see who's running the country and who's in charge of things. I think it's got to affect you somehow. Also, I noticed that when we did move to a different area, and it was a different makeup at the school that I went to. It was a diverse, school, but we had a lot of white teachers. And what I noticed about a lot of those white teachers was they seemed to give up too early on the black students, especially the boys, especially dudes like me. It's like they were quick to call us disruptive for one reason or another. They just didn't really try too hard to reach us. It's like they figured from the beginning, oh, I'm not going to be able to get through to this one. And it was just quick and easy for them to give up when you and call you a disciplinary problem. Now, when my black teachers, it seemed like they were personally vested in our future because they knew that they were part of the black community and we are part of the black community, and our future is their future because we were the future. So they really went out of their way to make sure that they helped us, and plus they knew what we were capable of, and that's what they demanded of us. It's like they knew that we could produce excellence, so that's what they demanded. I had a lot of teachers that were strict and that were hard on us, but they were good teachers, and thinking back on that, I was glad that I had them. Now, also think about this. I think some prejudice is almost natural, for lack of a better term. Think back to high school in the lunchroom. Now, like I said, I went to a school that was diverse. Now, in the lunchroom, you were allowed to sit wherever you wanted, but people self-segregated. It's like the races would just pull in together. There was a black section, there was a white section, there was an Asian section, Hispanic section, and this is when people were allowed to sit wherever they wanted. They just almost gravitated toward each other because maybe I don't think it's unnatural to want to be around people who maybe have similar experiences as you and maybe who think similar to you. That's what makes you more comfortable. Another example, when I was trying to decide on what school to go to, we went out to visit Michigan State, right? So when I get there with my family, it's like a sea of white people everywhere. And, we're driving around, and they're all white people all over the place. And I'm trying to take everything in, all at once. And then we come into park, we pull up right next to a black family. So we get out of the car and we see each other, and we were so relieved. It's like we were shaking hands and hugging. We had never seen people before in our entire lives, but I was just so happy that there was going to be somebody else there, even just for that day, that I could identify with. Somebody else who had similar experiences as me. Somebody who I knew a few things that we would automatically have in common, and certain things that would be similar about us. And I think that sort of thing is natural. And neither one of us decided to go there, but as it turns out, we still keep in contact by email. In any event, it would also be nice to know that when I went in and applied for a job, it would be, if I didn't get the job, it would be because there was somebody else who was more qualified than me. That it would be for no reason it could possibly be race. That would just be something that was comforting. Also, one last thing, consider this. Baseball. During segregation, there was a Negro League, and in this Negro League, there were black players and stars, there were black coaches and black managers, there was even black owners and black promoters, there was black folks everywhere, all gainfully employed in one way or another, all working together. But when they let Jackie Robinson into the majors, now all of a sudden things are different. Now you can look at the majors and see, at least for now, one black person, and then, more got through. So eventually the Negro League disbanded, and more black folks were let into the majors. But all of those black managers, all of those black coaches and stuff like that, they didn't get a job. They didn't get a position there. So once the blacks were let into the major leagues, then the Negro League left, and all of those jobs left with them. All of those people that had those positions and everything, that was all gone for them too. So that's just something else to consider. But I guess my major question is, was segregation such a bad idea?
In times of need, people of color do come together really quickly, because people say, well, black people aren't united, which is absolutely not true to me, because I know a lot of black people who are united. I have a lot of black friends who are together. We need each other, we have each other. Someone say, I hate my black race now, or this is why we can't get no places. Oh yes, that's back 400 years. I can't stand when people of color, black people, do that to each other. Just because 1 or 2 or 3 people planned a party does not mean that us as a black people, our legacy has been set back 400 years. That's fucking ridiculous, and I'm cursing now because it's so stupid. And people say all the time, you set us back 400 years. How can one person take away a whole legacy of people? That makes no sense. Those are ignorant people. And they say, oh, I hate my black race. You hate your black race, okay? You could go over there. You could be in that corner of self-hating people, because we don't need you.
African Americans have long had an awareness of their African roots, and many have retained a deep spiritual and physical connection to their African motherland. This connection has been and continues to be a very important part of African Americans' true sense of self and identity, and their desire for freedom and self-determination.
Africa is home. You're an African born in America, and your inheritance is here. Your birthright is here. And you should come and get it.
It is the motherland. It is a land of beauty. It is a land of vast potential. It is a land where my soul has found rest. And I love the land, I love the people, and I love the experience.
I love the peace. Peace. Yes. It's such a peace here that, I haven't found anywhere else. Okay? And I love the people. And I love the fact that I can feel free.
That a bad day in Ghana is better than a good day in America. And really it is. I mean, with all of, we have frustrations, we have challenges. And see, that's what I like people to understand. It's like, I have a book, and I'd like to show you a copy of my book, and it's entitled Returning Home Ain't Easy, but it sure is a blessing.
You can fulfill yourself and become whole by returning back here to Africa. If not to come here to live, come and receive the other half of yourself so you can be whole and do what you have to do in your life and with your destiny wherever you choose to do it. But you can never be whole and never be complete with Mother Africa not being a part of yourself and your agenda. So come and get the other half of yourself. Brother Malcolm X told us, in one of his lectures over 40 years ago to those of us who felt that we don't have nothing to do with Africa. And I ain't leave nothing in Africa. He said, well, you left your mind in Africa. You need to go back and get it. So I say, come and get the other half of your mind back in Africa so you can be your total and complete self.
Americans believe Africa offers them a better future than America. Mimi Igyan left a comfortable home in Atlanta to bring her 3 children and her mother Carly to a small rented house in Cape Coast.
In the United States, you never really feel at home. When you're always feeling like you're under pressure, you know, you're under so much stress by the police officers, by all the authority figures, you never feel comfortable. You know, you never are free to just roam about without someone treating you disrespectfully or just treating you like a criminal or treating you like you're not even a person. So I feel very good coming here, even though with all of its quirks and its inconveniences, you know, it's still home. It's still home, so we feel very good being here. The schools my children were attending in the United States had become almost prisons. And so we're happy for them here. They have the breezy classrooms, you know, and they get to sing and just enjoy being a student, you know, and enjoy being a kid. It didn't take but maybe 2 weeks when the children said they wanted to stay. They said they really like it here, they want to stay, so I believe we're going to stay. I don't think anything could send me back.
You know, I was the typical angry black man. You know, the typical angry black man. They say, oh, you're just an angry black man. I say, you're right.
Why?
Why was I angry? Because I didn't feel like I fit in. I knew I didn't fit in.
I don't feel that I am in conflict like I was in the U.S. I feel that I am in a peacefulness and a comfort zone that is very hard to explain.